Hi, welcome to the Pursuit of Truth. I'm still thinking about Des, Sheeps and Neeps. I did watch the rest of his video yesterday, which showed that they had trouble putting on the bag on his stomach. I assume that's for going to the toilet. And he had to do it himself. It did look a little bit embarrassing that he said, he'd teach them how to do it. And then after that, and I don't know if it's because of that, then they went and told, they came back and said you need consent to be streaming, to be videoing nurses. And I checked that online to see is that true or not, and yeah, it is. Apparently they do. The trust do have that kind of, the NHS trust, they do have that kind of policy in place. I guess that's when they get big companies to film them, they need to get consent and this, that and the other. I don't know if they could just put on the door. Like, I know sometimes when you go into places, it'll have a sign with you're being videoed, and by going in, that's giving your consent. But I guess he could just film himself, isn't it? I mean, and stop when they come in. But yeah, I've just been thinking about him since then, because even though the camera switched off after that, he's still there, he's still suffering, he's still in pain, he's still unable to get surgery and it seems like they tricked him a little bit into getting in there, because he was under the impression that the option of an operation was there, when then they tell him no. But I know that, I think it was Brent on, I can't remember was it Poncho Pete's Son of Man, or I can't remember whose he was on, and he was saying that he was taken to a palliative care hospital. So obviously when I heard palliative, I know what that means. So I don't know why they can't do surgery. I'm sure they don't even tell him, other than it's dangerous. But to me, that's not a valid reason. There's lots of things that are dangerous that we do. People climb up mountains, that's dangerous. People go through, heart bypass, that's dangerous, but still they do it, isn't it? So I don't know if there's enough of their science to warrant such an operation, or it's just because in their mind chemotherapy and radiotherapy is the option to and if you don't do that, then that's it. There's no alternative. But I think the problem is like I said yesterday, and I understood this now more, is to do with the system. That even them, I know we like to point at people and this, that and the other, but doctors, scientists, whoever, they're all human beings as well, and we all at one time believed in this system and believed everything that we were told and didn't question anything. And when anyone did question anything, we laughed at them and said, no, that's silly. Why would anyone lie? Why would what I believe not be true? And some of us are awake, to use that term, and some of us aren't. Some of us see those things. Some of us maybe see too many things, in the sense that maybe they're not there. But that's the problem. This, once you open this, I was going to say Pandora's box, of looking at the truth and actually discerning for yourself and actually looking at things yourself, then you start to question everything, and the problem is that then everything can be up for debate, as it were. So yeah, that is the problem, because these doctors, they can only do what they've been taught and what they've been told. The problem is we need to get rid of the system. We need to get rid of this idea that this is what you have to do and you can only do that. Otherwise we never would have had penicillin, if that's the case, if that really does do what it does, or we wouldn't have all these scientists that used to try stuff on themselves, operate on themselves to find these things. I think if there is a legitimate reason, that a patient can show that there's no harm in doing it, at the end of the day, this is their life. Why are we governing their life? That's the real problem. And it's the same, like, if he wanted to get out of that place, he'd have to seek discharge. And sometimes they can refuse that. We know with Alfie, or I can't remember his name now, the baby, who the parents wanted to take him out, and there's lots of cases of that. So once once you're born, and I guess this is to do with the legal name side of things, you become a part of that system. You're a replica of that system, growing and learning the system and becoming it, spouting without even thinking about it. So until we get rid of that, until we realize that we need to, the thing is that individually is very difficult because, well, I suppose we just need to push for it through all these streams, through these podcasts, through, eventually it will seep through. It's the same. That's how do you think you have the mind that you do? A lot of it is to do with education and schooling, but a lot of it's to do with television as well. The dramas that you watch, the storylines that are in there, they've, changed how we are as a society. So we can do the same on YouTube. The more we keep doing it, the more that keep joining and making these kinds of things. Like we've seen, some of these subjects now are getting into mainstream television. Some of them are poo-pooed and some of them are gatekeeping and all that kind of stuff. But it's getting there, and it will continue to. There will be in the media terms a market for it. Well, the thing is, at the end of the day, things can only change through us, because we've always made the change through our voices, through our thoughts, through whatever process. It is through us, an individual and a collective. So, yeah. The other thing I was thinking of with this idea is, I don't know whether it's any good or not, but I thought I should put it out there, because I don't know who to approach to. But maybe whoever's listening to this can forward it on to other people and get their thoughts about. That it just came to me that I was thinking about it, that well, I won't say what the reason that gave me the idea, but because I don't want to be negative. So the idea I had was that all of us, flat earthers, truthers, whatever you want to call this collective of people. Is people the right one, or men? I don't know which is the right term to use. God, even saying things is difficult now. But, yeah, so anyway, the idea is this, that everyone streams live on YouTube or Facebook or Periscope or wherever they can, multi or just one, at a certain time, on a certain day, everyone, just themselves, a 1 minute silence. That was my idea. And everyone gives it the same title. So it'll have, I don't know, Flat Earth, or 1 minute silence, Flat Earth, Truth, or whatever, we just have to agree what the title is. Everyone uses the same title. Everyone films just themselves for 1 minute, just standing in silence, and we all do it. If people like Dal from Beyond the Imaginary Curve, if Des could do it from Sheeps and Neeps, Jamie Brown, it was his new channel now, Jamie's Journey, Pete Shea, Rebecca and Dave, Rob Eyes Wide Awakening, Sandy 123, Joan of Worms, Merle Beauregard, Teen Follen, Marshall, Poncho Pete from Son of Man and Poncho Pete channel. I mean, the list is endless. I mean, I'm not going to go through all this, and even me as well. So everyone that wants to can take part in it. All we just need to define is the date, the time. I was thinking 12 o'clock because it's halfway between, but I don't know if that works well with Australia, America and the UK. So we'd have to work that one out. But I was thinking maybe 12 o'clock to 12:01 obviously. And I don't know what date it would be. And then we would all do that minute silence. And I mean, I don't know whether maybe it's been done already, I don't know, but it just came into my head and I thought, well, it seems like a good idea because there's so many of us. If we all streamed at the same time, our message was fill up the YouTube live. So you couldn't avoid but see it. And as long as the tag has something, that's selling our message, that truth, discernment, flat earth, H2O, isn't water. What's the other things? Chemtrails, if you want to put that one in. What else is there? I don't know. Whatever. We need to agree upon what the subject line would be, but that we would all have that. Surely that would then, people would check it out. It could be a media story. It could wake up more people. Obviously, then other people will go and see. Eric Dubay is another one. If he could do it as well, then they they would go to these different channels. Doesn't matter whose channels go. I'm sure even some gatekeepers will join in because they will want people to come to their channel. But it may get the message. It may sort of open the way. And Yellow Submarine. He just came up. His video just came out now. Eddie as well, and Planet Foregone. I know he's not doing it anymore. And Brent and Chris Fe, and I mean the list is endless. If we all streamed at one time, as long as we don't block up YouTube. Because we do it on YouTube and Facebook and all the different other streaming platforms. I think it would enlighten our cause. The only problem is I hope there wouldn't be like, I want to do this, I want to say this, I don't want to say that, I don't want this person to be included. It doesn't matter at the end of the day. I know that there are issues with, some people may think they're gatekeepers of this, that and the other, and I don't trust this person or this, that and the other, or I don't like this person or whatever. Irrespective of that, as a species, that's what I want. I want, as a species, us to send out this voice of that we need to show about truth. Anyway, take care, take it easy, God bless, and peace.